welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have someone so beautiful, so gorgeous in our midst and present here today, and I'm super excited. So Ma, tell my beautiful audience who you are.
All right, my name is Mrs. Jennifer Colady, and I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm a lawyer.
Love
So
it.
that's basically it. Thank you. And I'm a counselor, marriage counselor as well.
Thank you for saying that, because I mean, people will ask, okay, like why you like wow, okay, the topic. Maybe I start with the topic. So we're talking about like marriage and like motherhood and like parenting, right? And I'll give a backstory why her. So you guys know that this motherhood thing, we've been on it together, and the beginning part was not all easy. But another major part I don't really talk about was, how it, I don't want to use the word affected, or how my husband and I navigated the new phase. And it was a bit, there are some things that were not so straightforward. And I didn't know that, like, I mean, that part of it happens. And I didn't even know I was getting it wrong. I actually felt I was, doing it right. And we kept having the same issue, same question over and over again. There was no headway. And one day I just said, God, because I attended marriage counseling, and she was one of our, marriage counselors, right? And I just said, okay, let me just call you. I think I just sent you a message that day that, see, I need to talk to you. I'm having this, I'm having that. I just need to talk to you. And then I called her, we talked. I said everything. And honestly, that conversation changed everything. Like, okay, I didn't even go back, and like after that day, everything became better. That was honestly the beginning of, should I say, redemption? Honestly, I mean, it didn't happen with magic, but from that day on, I realized that it opened my eyes that, oh, so this is it, and this is how it should be done. These are how things are. And I began working on myself, reading, praying, and then from there it got better. So the truth is, if I never had a conversation with you, I don't think, unless God sends like another person, honestly, I don't know how, different it could have been. And God knows when my marriage will have been today. So thank you for, for helping me. Right. But yeah, so that's why I had that marriage counselor. She just said it in passing, but see, help me underline it because she's good. And that's exactly why we are here. Like I said, we're discussing marriage, and then how it affects, having kids, and that new phase, because honestly it is another phase entirely. And like I said, I don't think people really talk about it. I don't know why. Maybe because it's marriage, people don't come out and say, I have this issue. Do you understand? It's very, everybody just, but in reality is there. So we'll just be answering some questions and navigating it. Okay, so first question you have is, what conversation should couples have, before having kids?
Okay. Well, I like to answer that question by starting with a conversation I even think couples should have before they get married.
Okay.
And that's when do we want to start having kids? I think it's actually very important, because sometimes maybe the wife wants, I want to relax more.
True.
Or the husband wants to relax more. And all that. So you have to have that conversation. And if you've not even had it and your wedding is ready by the corner, you still need to have that conversation. When do we want to start having kids?
Yeah.
How many children do we want to have?
Yeah.
It's also an important conversation. Then also, let's say you're already married now and you decided that you want to start having kids. What kind of conversation should you have? You want to discuss things like, do we have the finances?
Yeah.
How much do we have? Can we cater for an extra mouth? And all of that.
Children are expensive.
Actually very expensive. You see memes these days of price of baby milk.
Honestly.
I beg, so you have to actually have that discussion. And then you have to also discuss, are we going to be getting help? Because a child is an added responsibility to the home.
Yeah.
So you want to know, do we need a nanny? Are we going to be doing nanny? If we're not doing nanny, okay, how are we going to share this work? Because it's very important, so that one party is not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then you can also have a discussion of, okay, who is coming over to help, especially regards family wise.
Exactly.
You agree on that beforehand. And then I think one final conversation I think couples need to have is, if the wife has to quit her job because she's pregnant, because we see high risk pregnancies where the wife has to quit her job, what happens? Can the family be sustained on just the husband's income? So those are important conversations I think the couples need to have.
I think that third point that he said, because some people said, God forbid, and nobody's wishing you bad.
Exactly. But
But reality, and it's better to just plan ahead.
mhm.
Let's just please just plan ahead. Nobody's wishing you bad, but that's
It's very
extremely important, right? Okay, so the next question that we have is, let's say, okay, now we've had the children,
Mhm.
and you see, especially like, well, let's say young couples, right? They'll ask, how can we keep the fire, but the spirit, not the spiritual. If you don't go to spiritual, in the other room. How do we keep things, going? And
And
yes, I mean, yes, how do we? Especially because there's some women that legit have that they become scared. I've heard of women that like the husband should not come near you, or even the husband is don't come near you after having kids and
yeah.
all of that. Some women don't just have it just dies or something. Yeah, so in the other room and then even in the spiritual life, right? How can couples keep the fire burning? Yeah.
Okay, first I'd like to say I always think, couples need to learn patience, especially
Hmm.
when it comes to this childbearing thing, because it changes you, it changes the way the home is run and
Hmm.
everything. So you need to give each other time to get accustomed to your new life.
Hmm.
So it's even if the first, of course, medically first 6 weeks you're asked to stay away from sex
Yeah.
and all of that, but um so as a husband, naturally you have to be patient with that. And even after the 6 weeks, some women may not still be ready. They may still be going through pain. They may still be
Hmm.
healing and all of that. So
Hmm.
you have to be patient with your spouse. That's very
Yeah.
important. And another thing is that you must have the mindset that, see you last na me and my husband or na me and my wife.
Honestly.
Exactly. The children, they are still going to leave one day. They will go to their schools, they'll have their
Yeah.
own families, and it's just you and your spouse.
Hmm.
So you have to have that mindset that, so if I don't invest in this relationship,
Hmm.
it's going to affect me later on. So you need to understand that while you are taking care of your children,
Yeah.
you have to also make sure that you're investing in your relationship. And one way to invest in that relationship is by being intentional. So
Hmm.
you want to create times. There are times that you need to sometimes, grandma, hold this baby first.
Yeah.
Hold this child. Let me and my husband, or
Just
me and my wife,
be
just be,
exactly.
have that time together, go out, come back, watch a movie, laugh, play, and all of that. It's very important you're still having that in your home. And a final thing I would say on that is that we can do these things together.
Hmm.
So you changing the diapers, carrying the baby, because it creates another level of bonding. Because you
True.
can talk about these things like, oh, you see this child. If you saw this child did to me yesterday, and then it's like,
Yeah.
the child did the same thing to me, and
Hmm.
it just makes it more fun. But when only one person is carrying
Carrying
out
all
all
the
those,
load.
it
Hmm.
just actually affects the relationship. So it would be good to keep the romantic fire burning, be intentional. That's one
Yeah.
keyword.
Yeah, I think I'm going to emphasize that be intentional because I realize that even moms, especially your first child, it's very easy for us to forget. And the truth is,
Yeah,
a lot of times we don't even know we are doing it. So yeah, your husband
exactly.
start making funny remarks like, "Ah, you forgotten me," or men will not come and
I had your first
do
baby.
you get? Men will not come and sit there and say, let's have a conversation. They'll just be passing all those little remarks
Exactly.
around. And it's so easy to get so invested because you assume that your husband is a big person and he can take care of himself.
Thank
Maybe there's
you.
food in the house, go and warm it. Do you understand? Right. So I
Uh,
think that keyword, because when you have that mindset of you're being intentional, you know that you have to look out for this person. You have to really
exactly. You
invest.
have to
So
actually
leave, I'm not in
invest
the mood. Even if there's an issue, you both are ready to look
to
out,
look.
get the
Thank
help and all
you.
of that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
actually true. That's very, very important. So now we're going to the next question, and it says, how can we address feelings of resentment or frustration in our relationship or in a marriage? Hmm.
Okay, so for that question, I think the first thing is that that person or whoever, if it's the husband or the wife, you need to ask yourself, why do I feel this way?
Hmm.
Sometimes you might think it's stress, it may not be stress. It
Hmm.
may be actually be finances, it may be
Hmm.
family as well. Maybe someone in the home giving you wahala,
Problem.
problem.
True.
You just, so there could be, and it could also be stress. So you want
Yeah.
to first of all find out what's the root cause. Why am I feeling this way? And then once you can determine why you're feeling that particular way, it's easier to deal with it. So if you know it's stress, have that conversation with your partner. You're like, okay, babe, I don't think this is working.
Yeah.
This thing is stressing me out. what can we do? And while you're having the conversation, you're bringing up solutions as well, not just complaining and saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm tired."
Hmm.
No, can we do it this way? Will it be okay if we do this, or can we just make those suggestions to your husband? And it's very, very important. And that's how, even whether it's the husband or the wife, whichever one, that's how you speak.
Hmm.
You learn how to communicate with your partner. So you communicate in that way, and it's easier to do. And then so you are able to deal with it. If it's finances, you know that, okay, or having a conversation with your partner, how can we cut down our expenses? This thing is stressing us.
Yeah.
What should we do? How can we do it? And if it's family, so basically discovering why it is there, and then
Mm-hmm.
having that conversation with your spouse on how best to tackle it.
Hmm.
That's really
Hmm. It's some of this. I mean, I love how you're answering this question because they seem the answers like the problems always feel so big in our head, but the solutions are actually very simple.
yeah,
Honestly, and it's just
exactly.
communication, intentionality, patience. Like it's
Exactly.
just still the every little thing that you need to just put
Mm-hmm.
in place. And I like how you said that you need to find the root cause because I remember when I had my baby and I entered there was a point where I was like depressed. I was having like postpartum depression. And at
Yeah.
first I thought it was stress. Okay, so we got a nanny, but I was still
Still sick.
depressed. So, like you said, it took me time to figure out okay, what exactly was making me feel this way. The stress was
Exactly.
just a very tiny,
Minute aspect of
yes.
it.
Honestly, it
Yeah.
was just a very minute exact. And then when I finally discovered that this is the root cause, I then was able to tackle it and then heal
See.
from it. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm enjoying this so much. So now we have another question. It says, how can couples navigate taking care of the baby without help? I mean, you also touched about this, that this is a conversation,
Just to
couples.
have,
So
yeah.
now about the conversation, we're not going, or people that are even in diaspora, especially because I have most people that, I mean, go through this are people that getting a help is almost even in the question.
Yeah, that's a very actually it happens. It
Yes.
happens. So first of all, I want to assume that when you say help, Sha, you're talking of nanny. Because one way or the other you still need help. Even if it's from
Yeah.
friends, trusted family there, even if you don't have family, one way or the other you will still need help. But let's just assume okay, you can't
Hmm.
find help. I think the first thing you want to do is, like we said before, have that conversation with your partner. We don't have help,
Hmm.
so we are in this together. Or not
Hmm.
just two of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe people that's not understand. You're like it's just two of us.
Yeah.
So how can we work on this together? And for someone like me that likes to be organized, I prefer I share responsibility with my spouse early on that so that there's no wahala.
Hmm.
But some people prefer spontaneity. If that's your just don't complain, right? The
When this thing
spontaneity did not come.
happen.
So but it's advisable we just discuss, okay, see you because there is no help. This is what I'll be doing, this is what you should be doing, or what can you do? We
Yeah.
list out all the things that are going to be done. And then you want to eliminate things that can easily be done by, let's say, for instance, washing machine. Get a
Hmm.
washing machine for your clothes.
Exactly.
If someone can run your errands for you, your grocery errands, market
Exactly.
errands, get someone to do that for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things that that other people can do, someone to clean your home, that
Mm-hmm.
it will take the stress away from you. I think you can also
Invest in it.
invest in those things as well, and then you and your spouse agree over time. And then one important thing which I usually consider like the most important is time management and discipline.
Hmm.
If you don't have a help, you need to be, because if not you end up leaving all your work for a particular time, and then by the time you're doing all of it you're
Yeah.
tired. You are
Yeah.
now, by the time you're like, oh my god, this thing is stressful, and also you
Hmm.
have to learn how to manage your time. You
Yeah.
don't have help, okay, today I'm going to do this and this, and you
Hmm.
stick
Yeah,
to
very
it,
strict to it.
the
Yeah.
discipline,
True.
cut down on entertainment or something, just so that you can manage your time very well. So that's really
Hmm.
important.
And funny enough, this question, it was also someone in diaspora that actually mentioned it too, because she said that before you have a baby, ensure, because the husband, they be like, I want to have a child. And I realized that, see, men, all these things, they don't understand the work that's involved. It's when they're not in it, they don't realize that, so when you're telling them some of these things, they're like, don't worry now,
We'll sort it
we'll sort it
out.
out when
We'll
we
take care
get
of
this.
itself.
Do you get? So women out there, please ensure. I mean, it may not be a one day. You understand your husband better, but find 1 or 2 times. Just maybe you guys are doing something, and just turn into a joke, turn into a conversation, and
Yeah.
try and have that conversation and set that kind of expectation, because it's a very big reality, I assure you.
Yes, so it is.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, how can couples navigate differences in parenting styles? And sorry, let me just buttress on this.
Okay.
And as at this morning, I was still thinking to myself that we don't really understand how much our childhood plays a role, especially when we get married. There are a lot of things I do in my house, and I do them because my mother did them, right? And that's where I believe a lot of our parenting styles also come from.
Actually.
How you grew up, the little things you've seen online, and then you marry someone that is entirely different from you. Please, ma, help us. How do we navigate all of this?
I think really this thing it's marriage generally, not parenting, not just parenting style. Marriage generally, like this is somebody that grew up. In fact, you and your sibling that stay in the same house, you still have
Issues.
You still have issues. You still have issues, and then not to talk of somebody that you are just he grew up in a entirely different environment from you. Those
Honestly.
issues will come up. Those differences, particularly, let me use the word differences of issues. Those differences will come up in a lot of things, and it's normal. So that's why compromise is very key in marriage.
Yeah.
You must always compromise something. It's not every time my way or your way. You can always come to a middle ground. You can even sometimes, if your spouse's way is better, you can lean towards it. If it's not going to be bad, you can lean towards it.
Yeah.
You can also have that conversation toward in the beginning, like during when I'm counseling couples and we are talking about parenting at times, and they're like, "No, me, this is how I want," especially when it comes to child discipline. Area, this is area, and then it's causing. I said, "See, okay, you know what? Let's start with the less stressful one. If that one is not working, then you move to the less, or I don't know, it's not stressful, the more
intense one.
Yeah. So it's a matter of compromise. You are not just stuck on your way.
Yeah, you have to
Consider
open your heart.
partner's Thank you.
True.
Does this make sense? If it makes sense, it's going to work. Then what's the big deal? You can go with it.
Yeah.
And so that's it. That's basically it. I think compromise. And you can reach a middle ground most times, or you do hybrid. It's not compulsory to do your way. You can combine the two together.
Exactly.
And
join it.
Do your own,
I do my own. As long as the work is done, the child is not in any harm.
It's not any harm. That's it.
Yes, I think that's for me. That's one thing that I tell myself, because it was also a bit difficult. But I just go see the child is not going to die. Like, you love this child just as much as I love this child. At the end of the day, you are not doing something that wants to kill the child or harm the
Thank
child.
you.
So there's no need to carry it to your neck.
I think more than you actually stress over that. I was watching a video online, and the child was climbing somewhere, and then the father actually had it under control, but the mother, she was already panicking. She had to climb and carry the child.
Oh, I think it was a car.
Yeah,
I seen that video. The child was climbing over the car, and the man climbed. He literally climbed on top of the car to carry a child.
Sometimes it's really, I think sometimes we kind of stress a lot about it. It's not really. That's it. Yeah.
God help us. God help us. Okay, I mean, this is really fun, honestly. And I would say this to like people that are yet to get married, or even maybe even those that are already in it, right? Just towards the end, I'll put the Instagram handle so you can please send her a DM. Even if you need further counsel, your own matter, you pass all this video they were doing, right? Please, they have, yes, please, you can at least reach out to her, right? But please, if you're yet to be married, really take these things, because they may seem so little, but I assure you, in marriage, they make all the difference. Okay, so we're going to the next question. How do we support each other without feeling like we are competing?
I think this first of all starts with a mindset. And you have to have that mindset of, as a couple, we are not competing against each other. We are competing together. It's like a relay race. The runner one is passing the baton on to runner two.
True.
If runner two sees himself as being in competition with runner one, there'll be problem.
Yeah.
Because he will go and start the race with runner one at the beginning, forgetting that they are together. They're
exactly.
So you and your spouse, you're a team. So when you see in this parenting journey, or even in journey generally, you see your spouse falls, and because you know you're a team, you're not running that I want to finish. You're
Yeah.
going back to
Yeah.
pick your team member up because we're finishing together.
Exactly.
So when it comes to
Hmm.
your children, your parents, it's the same thing. If you see one partner maybe is having challenges in the parenting, you're not just saying, "Oh, I'm the better parent. I can do it."
Hmm.
I no, you're helping
That
your
person.
partner, yes, to
Yeah.
get better.
True.
You know, you see some situations where you say, "Oh, a child is maybe I like mommy better or I like daddy
Hmm.
better," and all that. You two, yeah, feeling my child likes me. No, it's not. You have to
Hmm.
make that child to like
The other
the other person,
person.
to create avenues, create it so that there's that balance and you people are finishing strong
Yeah.
together. It's very important. So just knowing that we are a team and that we're
Hmm.
not competing against
Against
each
each
other.
other. And I think this can also help, especially when it may feel like you said, it may get to a point where it feels like I'm doing more than you. Maybe in terms of taking care of the child, I'm putting in
Mm-hmm.
more effort than you, and then you are now maybe your career is now progressing. So it now looks more like a competition. Like you are doing well. Me, I'm at home taking care of baby. So I don't know if another angle, how do you think couples can navigate that when it looks like one couple is putting in more effort with the child, and then it looks like the other person just going about their life.
I think so. That's where those conversations early enough start because then you, as a couple, you already have that. You know, first of all, I know I have a friend of mine who she has said for this period though she's not hustling promotion because she knows
True.
that she's in the phase of these children,
Hmm.
and after she has given herself a year already that a particular year she has pinpointed a particular year that when it reaches that year,
Yeah.
she will start flying. She will
Hmm.
start her career kite. She will start moving,
Hmm.
and all of that. For some, it may be the husband doing that and the wife
Yeah.
moving. So these are conversations you have. It's an
Mm-hmm.
agreement. Okay, oh, because of this child, though, it
Mm-hmm.
seems I might have to slow down for this period of time,
Yeah.
and then the other partner can
Move.
move, and then you still catch up later.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I don't think it's not really a competition. Like I said, you see it as competition when you see yourselves as competing against each other. When people see yourself as one,
A
even
team.
if one person, yes, is career is progressing, it's also my career progressing because we're
True.
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your win is my win
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So that's it basically.
Yeah, and I think it's still part of why at the beginning you need to have this
Because
conversation. I tell
exactly.
women, especially moms, to be like, ask yourself, like, before you even meet a man, what do you want? That's why it's good to, in your single days, use the opportunity to know
No,
yourself,
yeah.
identify what you want for yourself, so
So
that
when
you
you're
can.
having the conversation, you even know what you
Mhm.
want.
Exactly. So that you know that there's a reality that by the time you start having kids, it may affect whatever your career, your business, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to navigate it? What structures do you want to put in place? So you are not,
Exactly.
caught off guard,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Exactly.
it's, it's honestly
Very
very
important.
important. Yes. So now we're coming to the money part of it. How will having kids impact our finances, and how can we manage the added expenses?
How many kids will impact your finances? There's no to worry about it. It will impact. You buy diapers.
You
You
buy
buy milk.
formula.
You buy formula. Thank you. You buy clothes.
Oh my
And
god.
if you go and find out about clothes and baby clothes and
Yeah, so I went to the
everything,
market recently. You see this small pants, like small pants, like this very
small
small.
pants.
It's very small. That's only one 600 naira. Sometimes you want buy 50 naira, like 100 and 600.
When I was buying a baby shoe, I was like, this baby shoe. Give us a mother that baby shoe cost pass. He said, Madam, it's baby shoe that is more expensive.
Okay, it's true. Sorry, our audience and diaspora.
So it's really it's going to impact your finances whether you like it or not. That's
True.
why those are conversations to have early enough. Or do we have the finances to take care of extra amounts? And if we
Yeah,
don't have, how can we
exactly.
augment these finances? And one thing that helps you ask how we can manage it if it impacts is budgeting
Hmm.
and being strict and disciplined with your budget. So you have to know how much do I earn? How much
Hmm.
do we? What is our income as a couple
Together.
together?
Yeah.
Then you now say, okay, how much of the income is going to this? How much is going to that? And when you do it together, it's easier for you to budget this thing. So you now know what how much goes into what and all of that.
Yeah.
Then you cut your coat according to your
Size.
size.
Exactly.
For instance, you cannot afford, in quotes, brand new outfits.
Hmm.
You can go for, they are really nice thrift wears that are very
Yeah.
nice for children. You
Exactly.
can get them. You go. I know people that select. They select the very ones that look very new. They
Mm-hmm.
wash it. The child wears it. You never know that that was a thrift wear. They
Yeah.
even last sometimes longer than the brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to budget, stick to your budget, and then cut your coat
According
according
to
to
your
your
size.
size.
I
Very important.
remember, I mean, I had like another guest in it where we were talking, I can't remember what we were even talking about, but okay, we're talking about, I mean, when should you have kids? Like, you know how
Mhm.
before marriage, do you want to wait or do it? So her and her husband, they waited for a while. Why me? I mean, I had my baby almost exactly. I mean, so we're comparing both situations. She said one of the questions they had before marriage was, we don't have enough money to afford the child. They listed like three different things: money, I mean, an apartment. So they were like, till we achieve
Yeah.
these three things, a child is never coming to the picture, right? So I mean, those are just, I mean, that's a real life
Exactly.
situation, and
Yes.
you know, you worked for them. He honestly
Mhm.
did. Okay, so another question that we have here is, how do we balance? I think we kind of talked about it, but we can, I mean, going, how do we balance our careers with the demands of parenting? Because I've seen two couples where they are both in, like, let's say, a demanding field. Maybe a doctor, I'm a doctor, right? And nobody's going to nobody's going to, leave their work for a while or slow down. Everybody's just, I want to go about my life. How do you, I mean, move on with that?
Well, I think by the time you say you want to have children, you
Hmm.
have to make up your mind that there's an added responsibility that is going to impact on your career,
Yeah,
whether or not you like it.
true.
And you have to make, except you don't want to have, that's why I see some people say, I don't want to have children.
Children. Hmm.
If,
Yeah.
but, which I don't know if that's, well, that's a conversation for another day. But really, but you want to, you know already that having children is going to have an impact on your career. And this is where good time management comes into play. You have to know if, for instance, I work at 8 to 5, my 8 to 5 is 8 to 5. By the
Yeah.
time I'm getting home, whether 6 p.m. or so, I know that this is time for my children. This
Yeah.
is time for parenting.
Yeah.
This is so, because you need to also invest time
In your
in your
children.
children.
Exactly. Because sorry, a lot of couples
Mhm.
outsource that part.
Exactly, and it's not.
It's
It's not.
some people, they think the nanny is the mother.
Really, actually, some people do that.
It's
Some
crazy.
mothers don't even know what is going on with the
I
children.
agree.
They don't even know. So you need to understand that, or some fathers who don't know what is going
Going
on with their
on.
children. So
Yeah.
you need to understand that this thing is going to impact on my career, and
Yeah.
you have to know that you have to put that balance and that time
Yeah.
management and say, okay, after work hours, this is time for parenting. I know people that say, I don't bring work home. If I'm going
Hmm.
to do, like for instance, from myself, practical example, I work at 8 to 5.
Hmm.
When I get home, that period when my children are awake,
Hmm.
and I give it to them wholly,
Hmm.
fully, things that they need to do, organizing the home, everything,
Hmm.
playing with them, and all of that. They have their sleeping time, which is usually maybe 8:30 p.m.
Hmm.
But
Fine now,
I
fine now.
if they don't sleep by 8:30, it will be 9 p.m.
Hmm.
But immediately they go and sleep that 8:30, 9 p.m. and I'm done with everything I need to do domestically, I can carry my work and continue, because I now make that extra effort, that extra
Yeah.
sacrifice, because I
Yeah.
don't want my career
To
to suffer,
suffer. True.
but I don't also want my children to miss
Yeah.
their mom. So that's actually having to put that balance
Hmm.
in there. So as a parent, you must first of all understand that it's going to impact on your career. So you
Hmm.
must make some lifestyle changes
Hmm.
to accommodate these children into your lives.
Hmm.
You must make that, and you must stick to those changes that you've made, and understand that they also need you as much as you want to progress in your career. And then you might have to make some extra sacrifices for your
Yeah.
career as a mom or as a dad. It's
Yeah.
going to happen, but it's it's part of it. It's part of life,
Exactly.
and it's
Yeah.
worth it.
It's worth it. Yes. Underline is worth it. Is worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, just as you were talking, another question just popped up in my head, because we may have, like, moms to be, and moms are currently in that career phase. Because, like you said, thank God you have
Yeah.
your. I mean, you have an 8 to 5. I know your first child, your second child. She has two children, by the way. Yeah, she doesn't look it. I know, right? Right, and I know you've had your career all through that period. How did you do it? I mean, people that are maybe even afraid. I mean, just say something to them. Yeah.
Okay. So really, it's a phase that is
Hmm.
going to pass. I think that's something you should have in your head. That, see, this period, though, like when I was pregnant and having to go to work and all of that, I just knew that somewhere I go still bond. I
You just the bond this child.
was like, still this child, and this child will still grow. This child will,
Yeah.
and I've seen people who women like me that have also gone through that phase, and they're doing excellently well in their career.
Hmm.
So for me, that's one of the best encouragements I got, which I'm going to give to you, that it's a phase that will pass.
Yeah.
You know, even if you have to pause your career for a while for that parenting aspect, for me, I think it's worth it. And it's
Mhm.
just for a while. It's just for a while. In fact, after that period, you will still overtake some people that you thought had gone ahead of you.
True.
And that's very true. So it's not, there's nothing bad in pausing your career for that period
Yeah.
and then getting it back. And when I mean for that period, not like 10, 20 years, it might just be for
A very short
yes,
year or
a year
two.
or two,
Yeah.
and then you're getting back on track. And having a supportive husband helps as well.
Underline
Has-
it. Underline
It really, really
it.
helps because he's going to encourage you to as well and help you to also move.
Also move.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And just in fact, just as a form of encouragement, right? Because I have friends that we all had our children, I mean, around the same time. I mean, all our kids are between like 1 to 2, that kind of thing. And they're all like 9 to 5,
Yes.
girls and all. And recently they both made like managers.
You see?
And I mean, they're like in like top firms of the and
Exactly.
I am so proud of them because and I mean one of my friends who put a picture that I mean last year that see nursing moms and it, like as I last year they were literally breastfeeding.
Exactly. I'm sure they were maternity.
Do you get? And they still are making their career. So, like she said, it's just a phase. See, anything about being a mom, the pregnancy is 9 months. You born that child. The child will grow up. Like people will tell you, both of you are growing together.
Yes.
So you are not going back. I assure you.
You're not.
You are not going back, and it's going to be fine. Okay, so we're going to our next question. Now, these are couples that they're already inside this parenting thing, they're not really getting it. How can they improve their communication to manage? I would never say avoid because you can't avoid misunderstanding and conflict.
Yeah.
How can we, manage it? How do we deal with it better? Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to communication, there's an analogy I like to use, and it's when someone is cutting a tree and
Yeah.
he's using a blunt axe.
Hmm.
You know how long it takes for that tree to come down. In fact, it might take so long, but once you spend all like at least 90% of the time sharpening that axe, and you now cut within 10% of the remaining time, that tree is going to go down because the axe is very sharp.
Yeah.
And how does it relate to communication? I always tell couples, once you get married though,
Hmm.
take out time to understand your partner's communication style.
Hmm.
Because immediately you understand that thing, bam. It just
It will not be easy for you. Yeah.
You just know that let me give an example. My spouse, when he's sleepy, they talk well. He doesn't talk well. So when she's hungry,
Hmm.
she's always angry.
Me too. I'm very don't mama. I'm angry. Like, I can relate to
You
that.
already know by the time you studied your
Partner
partner
well.
very well.
Hmm.
Once you are, it will actually avoid a lot of misunderstandings because you now know that sometimes if he's feeling sleepy and he's saying something like "I beg, leave me,"
Yeah.
he's not saying it out of animosity. It's just
Yeah.
asleep.
True.
So you are not getting upset. You just know that
Mhm.
okay, I will bring this conversation up later. You bring it up later, and it
It goes.
it goes.
Yeah.
So avoid misunderstanding. First of all, understand your communication style of the communication style of your partner. Understand how does this person like to be spoken to, and how does this person like to speak as well. And once you're able to understand that about each other, it will help a lot. So even when it comes to parenting your child, you want to tell your spouse maybe you've not been hands-on.
Yeah.
You know how to tell your spouse without the spouse feeling offended.
Yeah.
The spouse will even now be the one to say it's true. They will not go and do it because there's how you've spoken in the language that spouse understands, that communication style. So it's very important understanding the communication style. You'll just be able to be passing information anyhow.
And it's true. And the person will never know that you've gotten the scope.
Exactly.
Oh, wisdom.
If, for instance, you can be laughing, you just say it, you know that your spouse understands better in joking manner.
Yeah.
You just say that, or your spouse understands better when you sit down and talk.
Yeah.
So it's just
Maybe you gotta cook his best food first before you not drop the bomb.
Yeah, I'm telling you. No, so once you understand, it's it's a breeze already. But
That's very true.
observing the rules of communication, basically, no shouting, no
Yeah.
insults, no talk like reasonable people.
Listen to the other person
Yes,
and all.
exactly.
And
So,
all.
yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Yes, so we have another question. We're almost, we're getting to the end, Gaja, and I'm enjoying this so much. Says, okay, how do we balance being parents with maintaining our individual identities? And I want to talk on this a bit more because when I had my baby, I didn't know people change. And I didn't know you will not even know you have changed. It's really funny, right? But it's such a reality. And yes, so a lot of women become, I mean, there's a new self, there's a new person. I don't know about men, they don't talk that much, God help them. But at least how do we, yes, in that new personality, that new identity, how do we navigate it?
Okay, first of all, I don't think it's a bad thing if you. It's like a lab, what they call that, a metamorphosing. Just the English.
You're not a
Between a
science student.
butterfly.
Okay, it's metamorphose. Okay, you are
Yeah,
grown.
you're
Okay,
growing.
okay, I get.
So it's a new stage of your life always bring up a
Hmm.
new. Sometimes to bring out a new you. You know, sometimes you never even know that you're so caring until you have a child.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know that you're very protective
Or patient.
or patient. Exactly. So it's but it can also bring out the
Another
negative
side. Yeah.
and all of that. So, but first of all, I don't think it's about balancing. I think first of all, it's about maintaining your who you are.
Hmm.
So you know that, for instance, let me give a lifestyle before I go to character wise.
Hmm.
If you're someone that likes traveling,
Hmm.
and because you have a child doesn't mean you stop traveling. For
True.
instance, I know it's a responsibility. Just walk around your schedule with that.
Yeah.
Either you're traveling with child or you reduce the number of times you travel
Yeah.
and you make sure the child is well taken care of when you travel and all of that. So it doesn't really change. It's just that it's another responsibility. You have to be more responsible
Yeah.
and all of that. But character wise, sometimes having children bring out even better characters in you.
True.
And sometimes it can also bring out
Another bad side.
you never thought was there. And sometimes these characters were actually hidden inside of
Hmm.
you. You didn't know because
Hmm.
you've not just been placed in that situation whereby they will come out. So once you realize that, it's just for you to begin to work on yourself again
Hmm.
to make sure you can work on any bad character or flaw you have. So
Yeah.
you just begin to work on it to change it back again. But I think you can maintain your identity even after you have children. If you
Hmm.
like a particular style of dressing, I don't think you should change that because you have
Yeah,
children.
because you have children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, let's just so you know
Oh my
it's just basically saying that you don't have to really change because you have children. You
god.
just have to accommodate your children into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's it. But if character wise, if it brings out negative characters,
Please
then you
work
work
on
on your
it. And when they're talking to you, listen. Don't say I'm not like that. You are like that. That's just by the way. No, it's true now. You know, we women sometimes we can be very, maybe I speak for myself. Sometimes you can just be want to be defensive, but yeah, truly, listen and pay attention. But I think I like the analogy of you are evolving because even as a person in life, you are not. Your 20s are not the same as your 30s. Whether or not you have children, something about you changes.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just like you are evolving and another side of you is growing and
growing.
booming. But if it's bad side, cut it off.
Just like being a manager. There's no way when you become a manager,
Yeah, you're not
a
exposed
manager,
to,
yes, I
yeah.
mean.
True. Okay, so we have another question. What should we do if one of us feels overwhelmed by the demands of parenting? Is that this going to see your face? This question was serious.
I think I will talk to your partner.
Are you serious?
If you feel, just talk to your partner. See, babe, this thing is stressing. You know, it's stressing me. Let me speak Queen's English. It's stressing me. I'm getting stressed that I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember having someone speak to me and was at that time she was going through a lot at home. She was being very overwhelmed. Her husband didn't want to help at home. And
Sorry.
and all of that. But really, she had to have that conversation
With him. True.
and then she found other ways to help herself. And it would have taken a toll on their marriage, but their marriage is so
Sweet.
good now. So first of all, having that conversation with your partner. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I know you're not really in support of maybe this, and this, can we do
Yeah.
this, and this?
Yeah.
So you have other options. For instance, if you don't want a living nanny, can you
Yeah.
have someone come and clean morning and leave in the evening so that it
Yeah.
takes that stress off you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to sometimes let baby stay with grandma, or let
Yeah.
someone come and just your grandmom or a relative just come and
Mm-hmm.
stay, even if it's just for 1 week, so that you can relax at least before you start again. And it's very important just working around your schedule as well.
Yeah.
Are there things I can cut out?
Hmm.
Because as a mom, that's another responsibility. So you have to take out away responsibilities that you can take out.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier on, washing clothes now. It's easy to put washing machine. That time that used to wash, you can use it to do
Other
something
things,
else.
true.
So to reduce
Mm-hmm.
your workload. So it's very important. Talk to your partner about it, and then look for practical ways you can help yourself
Yeah.
as well. It's going to help. If maybe your partner is not the type that is willing
Hmm.
to bulge, then look for practical ways you can help yourself
Yeah.
will
Put things in
in
place.
place. Yes,
True.
exactly.
And I think another important thing is because I've realized that some of these things, I don't know if maybe men don't understand or they're just living in denial, because there are times where your wife is honestly looking stressed. And as a man, like, one of your responsibilities is to groom your wife. I
Exactly.
feel like if your wife looking stressed, is you I'll look at. Like, what are you doing? Excuse me,
Well,
sir.
the comments are, did they care? Those men, do they
Yeah, do
actually
they
care?
actually care?
They're saying that she's a mom, she's a
Hmm.
mother, is part of it,
Hi.
and everything. But really, I think no man, no good man should see his wife like that's why
Exactly.
when you talk to your husband, and it's like, no, so you've been going through this all this while. No, 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 no.
Hmm.
He's even willing to step into, how can I
Yeah.
help?
Yes,
A
exactly. How
good
can we make it
man,
better?
yes.
See, maybe another time come and do marriage class, because you need to
Yes,
marry well. It's very, very. I think it's in
it's
this
important
parenting
to
part
this parenting journey.
you will
Yes,
know,
we
you really you appreciate or not appreciate your choice is very, very
ah,
important. Now just
that's
God
it.
help us. We have just like three more questions to go. Okay, so how do we handle stress and arguments in front of the kids? Hmm.
I think what golden rule is don't argue in front of your children. Don't
Hmm.
argue in front of them.
Women, hold your mouth.
Even the
Hold.
men too, it's not just the women actually. Even some
Mm.
men too,
True, true, sha.
they especially maybe something happens. And there's some men that can now go forget. And
Really?
they
I'm sorry, I didn't know. You will know more than in the marriage class now.
no,
Apart from my
there
little
are
environment, I don't really
yeah,
know much.
so there are men too that in front of their children that tell them, stop it. You don't
Wow.
you one rule is that no matter what is happening,
Hmm.
take it inside. Why am I saying so? Children, I've discovered that they ruminate. The other day, my son came, I'm thinking of my son. And the next thing just was mommy, I did so and so in the car yesterday. And my husband already he and my husband went out. And my husband already told me about everything that happened, how
Yeah.
he told me he was just downloading this something that happened yesterday. Oh. Like it was an unrelated conversation. He was just thinking about it and he just told me. So these children ruminate a lot on things
Hmm.
that happen. Sometimes in the evening when I take him to sleep and I go out and I go and check if he has slept, I come back, I see he has not slept. He will not start telling me some things that happened during the day. So it means he has been ruminating,
Thinking.
think
Wow.
exactly. And
Imagine.
it's not just I know a couple of my friends have told me the same thing. So you discover that you don't want to expose your child to such kind of scenes.
Yeah.
You want to protect that child as much as possible. Because child is thinking, oh, mommy was shouting on daddy. Or
Hmm.
daddy was shouting on mommy. Why was
Hmm.
mommy talking to daddy that way? Why is daddy?
Hmm.
So you want to protect that child. So
Hmm.
no matter what, women
Yeah.
and men, just
Keep
hold
it.
it when you
Yeah.
get inside. Babe, I didn't like what you did. I didn't like
Yeah.
what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Have that conversation in your room. And
Hmm.
when you know they are even the children are outside, avoid shouting
True.
so that they don't, because you can say we are in the room, but they know that
Hmm.
inside that room you are still
Yes,
shouting, you are
exactly.
fighting. So
Hmm.
you want to make sure of that. And then another thing is that when it comes to in front of your children, they must always see you both as having one voice. So
Hmm.
if daddy says don't do this and he goes to meet mommy, don't say there's nothing wrong in him doing it now, go and
Hmm.
do it, or
Yeah.
the other way around. No, it should be that one voice. You say this one, say there was a time I think I wanted I can't remember what it was, but I wanted my son to do something and my husband didn't want him to do that thing. So I just sent a message on WhatsApp. If I don't think there's anything wrong, but I just gave him something. I said, eh, I said, okay. So my husband said it by himself. Oh, yeah, go and do it,
Oh
And
yeah.
that was, you see, I didn't have to antagonize my husband in front of my son and say, no, I don't think there's any issue. Now let him do it. No,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it also comes out to marry someone that has sense too.
True.
But
Marry well, oh God.
and all of that. But really, don't do it in front of your children, and
Yeah.
let's always come with one voice.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And just like I said in the beginning, right? Our childhood also really plays a huge, like I said, when I got my realized that a lot of things I saw my mom do, I was unconsciously, like because you
Really?
think it
Your
is
practice and
normal,
everything.
yeah. So you also know that you are gradually building another wife or husband,
Yeah.
and is the marriage your children see? That's what they obviously.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're going to a section on very because this part too. I've heard stories like
Actually.
I've heard very very funny stories, honestly. So this is the first question. I please pardon if I don't pronounce it well. Omugo, is it
Omugo.
Omugo? Thank you, Omugo. Where the mother or mother-in-law somebody comes to assist the woman
Yes.
after you just have your baby. So someone first asked me that what is the tradition? There's the first one is it my mother? Is it his mother that should come? So yes, please help us first answer that. Is it my mother or is it his mother who should come?
See, there's no hard and fast rule about this thing.
Mhm.
There's nobody should tell you, no, it's your mother. No, it's his mother. There's no hard and fast rule. Basically, it's about what you both agree on.
Yeah.
So, and how do you come to an agreement? You have to decide first of all who is going to actually help. Omugo is for helping. It's not the mother is not coming to do vacation. The mother is actually coming to help. So you
Yeah.
have to find out. Okay, two of you are looking at. In fact, you as a woman, it's better you even consider it first before you discuss with it. My mom and my mom-in-law, who will help more? There are people that is their mother-in-laws that actually help you. Their mothers will come and be stretching leg. While some is their mothers that will help. But no, a lot of ladies say they prefer their moms because they can send their mom errands.
Yeah.
I've heard of there's a lady I counseled who she was complaining that her mom she was being stressed because she couldn't tell her mom.
Wow.
But immediately her mother-in-law came. She said she relaxed.
Are you
The mother-in-law
serious? Wow.
The mother-in-law was even going to market.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So really, that's why I said there's no hard and fast rule.
Then
The fact I worked for person A doesn't mean it's going to work for
person B.
person B.
True.
So you want to know who's going to help me more, who will bring less stress. Aside helping me, who will not stress me? That will be telling me this is how they do it. This is how they do it. I will almost be fighting with you almost all the time. So you want to consider all those things, and and not the one that will be wanting you to cook. You just give it that you should come back. The food must be.
How many pounded yam? My son has not eaten today.
Exactly. You want the one that
Oh my
should
God.
even do the cooking.
Yeah.
You will just be waking up and be eating. You need less stress. So really, there's no hard and fast rule. Who is going to help me?
That's the question.
That's the question.
Answer it by yourself.
But you must understand also that these people both women are also happy that their child has a child.
Yeah.
So you don't want to deprive them of the joy. So even if you know that one will not be of help so much, you still want to give that one the opportunity.
Yeah.
Even if it's maybe after you've rested, after 2-3 months.
Yeah.
That's okay. Even if this person comes, I can
still manage. Exactly. Correct. Yes.
And then just maybe for a short period. If it's your mother-in-law, you tell your husband, not more than 1 week.
Yeah.
If that's like most of the things, if he's your own mom, you already know that's how you will tell your parents. You know, is okay, you can come, but just 1 week, because you know how you
you shall table it. True.
When the person is spending more than 1 week, don't plan with your husband. Let's not travel. Let's just so that we go. Even if we come back the same day.
Oh my God! I just remember the video I also saw on TikTok. So there's this couple, right? The mother I think had been around for a while. So what the mom was talking about, your mother, when is she going? Like they're joking. So that but so you know what? She came here for the baby. Our own house is empty. Let's go to our own house. We'll leave her here and the baby instead. The baby gave her. Oh, we'll go. I will leave you. This is not want to leave the house. Oh
Mommy, something came up. We are traveling
my god.
next week. Okay. But don't worry. I've already booked your flight so that
You come and go.
you don't need to be the one to. If it's your in-law, you don't need to be the one to tell us
Yeah, your husband.
husband,
Exactly.
and it's so really there's no hard and fast rule, but just make sure that they both enjoy that
That period.
joy,
Yeah.
yes, of having their
And I think
grandchild.
marrying, apart from marrying into a good family too, also because I remember
Yes.
my mother-in-law was the one fighting for my mother to come. So like, yeah, I understand because she have daughters, so I was the one that came. I understand she may be a bit more comfortable. Like she was the one fighting my mother. My mother must stay for 3. Like, nah, just marry well and marry to a
A
good
good
family.
family, and
That's just the important
exactly.
thing.
And in such situations, you must have your husband must be a strong man.
Yeah.
You can't see when it comes to family, you can't marry a man that says yes sir, yes mom to
Hmm.
his parents all the time. You
Hmm.
need somebody that can say no.
Yeah.
Because even a good person can come up with bad ideas
True.
sometimes.
Hmm.
So and you have to be able to, because it may mean well, but it's not
Yeah.
just working for you. So
Yeah.
to say, no, mommy, this will not work,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
that, like you say, I agree with what you say, marrying to a good family and then marrying a good man and a strong man. When I mean strong man, like mentally, that can speak for
Hmm.
himself and
And
stand his
hold and
ground.
stand his
Yeah.
ground. True. So just have one more question, and it's still on this matter. Now we've heard stories. As in, I don't want to start sharing stories, but you know your mother-in-law has come. She wants to give your baby agbo. She wants to. I heard of one mother that circumcised the boy with blade. The mother went out, came back. She has circumcised the child. And she already told the mother that I'm taking him to the hospital, maybe like the
For the
next day or something.
circumcision,
Before
yeah.
the mother has come, the mother has carried blade. Like, so how do you as deal with all those crazy things? Or maybe you're with your in-laws and they're telling you your child is not looking well. Why you not, feeding your child well? Why are you giving formula? Bring out your
The bread.
breasts. I mean, how do you deal with all of those things in your face?
Basically, you have to understand the kind of family you're marrying into.
Yeah.
Because we're speaking about in-laws now. Even sometimes, not just in-laws, your families too can have some reasonable
Hmm.
demands. Your
Hmm.
mom, I remember someone was telling me that she's going to make sure if her daughters have baby girls that they will do the clitoris, they'll use hot water and press it. And I'm like, okay. you know,
I'm looking at you like, what is
this
it?
is not an in-law
Our own
speaking, she's
mother.
saying that. So you have to
Hmm.
you first of all, you whether or not your family or your husband's family, you have to stand your ground
Hmm.
sometimes. So and when you know that this is how this person
Yes,
thinks,
yeah.
you have to be there.
Hmm.
So that's why if the person is going to stay for a short period of time,
Hmm.
if the mom is bathing the girl,
Stay
the girl
there.
that's been
Oh.
wanting, the mother that's been wanting to press that clitoris, you will stay there. You'll
Yeah.
be gisting with her and be talking and be laughing,
Hmm.
everything. When she wants to carry the hot water and
Hmm.
press, no, mommy, now you know these things. They said
It's
the
not.
doctor said it's
Yeah.
not good and
Yeah.
everything. Sometimes they'll say okay, okay, but when you go, they
They'll not
want to do
quickly do
it.
it.
That's why you cannot. You have
Leave.
to
Hmm.
make sure that's how people like that, you leave them for limited periods of time in your house because they will stress you.
Yeah.
They will stress you. So you want to leave them for limited periods. But one important thing is that you must learn how to take your stance respectfully.
Yeah.
You don't have to be insultive or shout
Yeah.
or be rude
Yeah.
because you don't want
Hmm.
something. You can just be like, no, mommy, I don't agree with this thing,
Hmm.
and all of that. I remember when I was saying I wanted to do 6 months exclusive.
Hmm.
My mom is not really a fan of
Really?
exclusive.
That's just one in a million.
Well, my mother-in-law is a fan of
Exclusive.
exclusive. So, and my mom was like, because then I was really stressed because I think I had some issues then with breastfeeding and everything. Mom was like, yeah, don't stress yourself for this
Yeah.
exclusive. Don't leave the thing. My mother-in-law too she was like, no, that I know it's stressful, but it's motherhood
Yeah.
and everything and all of that. I personally told my mother, okay, mom, it's not because anybody's telling me. Because mom was beginning to think, is it because, are you listening to
To
people
her,
or
yeah.
things? I was like, no, that me personally,
That's what you want
that's
to
what I
do.
want to do. So I'm actually pushing to do it because I want to do it. So my mom was like, okay, no problem. Anytime she still see me or we sit talk, but she'll still make the comment. I will just laugh, me too, we laugh. And even
Yeah.
one time we went for something at home, and well, with the whole family, and I was carrying to go and breastfeed because she was crying. Someone was crying, she was crying. And I brought her for me to breastfeed. And I said, don't mind that. Oh, she doesn't want to introduce formula. I said, they say it's healthy now. So my parents, I said, yes, now that's what they said now, that it's healthy. So I said, maybe people should go. I was just funny, but you have to have that
Stand.
stance,
Yeah.
able to say and say it respectfully. You don't need to, like I said, you don't need to be rude
Yeah.
in maintaining your stance. And when it comes to in-laws, just allow your spouse deal with the
Hmm.
in-laws. I remember a
Yeah.
couple I spoke to where they wanted they wanted to do a particular training for the child, and they knew that the guy's mother was going to be against it. It was the guy that handled his mom. The
Hmm.
wife just did as if she did not even know
About it.
about it. Whereas it was an agreement between two of them. So really just allow the other one handle, but maintain your stance. Don't be rude. And one
Yeah.
final thing is that see, don't have that. People should not have that opinion or notion that in-laws are
Like that.
are like that.
Yeah.
Go with that open mind, with a love mindset that
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
love
True.
this
Because
person.
sorry, because they're saying that I have someone that even before she got married, even before she started talking to her mother-in-law, she was already fighting with her mother-in-law. She was already having beef.
No, husband's mother try.
Yes.
You don't let the woman.
You know,
Let the husband if
you're already fighting.
as in, so you don't go with that mindset because see they are very amazing.
True.
When I say amazing, my mother-in-law right now she's going to be with the Lord,
Oh.
but when she was here, she was more than amazing. And
Oh.
I just thank God that I didn't let all these
Petty
stereotypes, all
things.
those things
Yeah.
like, oh, mothers-in-law, like even when we had issues or challenges, it was because of this rule of, oh, I never saw it as she wants to fight me or she wants to
Hmm.
do. I always saw it as she's coming from a place of love. She may
Yeah.
not be just enlightened or exposed
Hmm.
now
But she
because
means
of the age, but
well.
she means well. So
True.
once I understood that, what I used to do is that I either tell my husband that this is what mom is saying or
Yeah.
this and this, or I just look for maybe an article or something that explains it better. When she says, oh, she'll be like, oh, okay, no problem. Sometimes she'll
Mm-hmm.
still yab us. I will collect the yab like that and all of that, but just don't have that mindset that they're always for evil, they are out for
Yeah. Or
evil,
it's fight.
or it's fights, it's very
True.
important. But always maintain your stance.
Yeah.
And when it's becoming too much,
Hmm.
you should be able to know when to call it, say it's okay.
Yeah.
You can have to go. You don't have to pack the person like I did, who I gave you. We are traveling, we
Yes.
have to, so you know when it has reached here
Yeah, and you
that
can't
you
take
have
it
to go.
anymore.
Exactly.
And finally, I pray for wisdom.
So
It's very
that is very
important.
important.
Yeah,
Very,
because I
very
remember a friend that gave me a scenario where her mother-in-law wanted to give the child agbo, and the mother did not want. So fine, she allowed the woman because they said she allowed the woman.
yeah.
Then I think maybe like few hours or something hours, she started pinching the baby. Making the baby cry. So, hey, maybe it's the agbo. He's crying mother. So the mother started getting scared that it's true. Why is he crying like this? It doesn't the question. She said, yeah, the boy is crying. Help me. They not get the boy away again after that too. After, she did, when she told my laugh, I said, wisdom. Wisdom.
That wisdom thing is very important. Wisdom. I remember one
Wisdom.
time, there was one night, my mother-in-law stayed with us for a long period. And the baby, my son then woke up and was just crying profusely at night. He was refusing to, wasn't taking it. So my mother-in-law was panicking. She
Yeah.
was like, go and bring this. I said, can't bring it, can't bring that, can't bring that. And so I'm just thinking, if my mother-in-law was in that situation, she never believed in Agbo, by the way. Thank God. But if I did Agbo and the baby, they say, bring more.
You're giving him Jesus.
No, well, thankfully, my mom was not an
Yeah.
Agbo person, but really, I think, like you said, wisdom is very important. Wisdom.
Yeah.
See, in this parenting journey,
Wisdom in everything that you do, honestly, from beginning to the end.
wisdom is important. I think there was something I forgot to mention, which is about the parenting styles when
Hmm.
there are differences, especially major differences. Is the fact that let's not also forget the order God has created,
Hmm.
which is the man is the head of the home.
Hmm.
So you have to always remember that it's like an organization.
Hmm.
if the oga says something, so it's not because a woman is less so. Let's not get
Yes.
it
Wrong.
wrong. It's just an order.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you will not air your opinion or you will
Yeah.
not say this is what I think should be done and everything. But most times when it comes to nobody really, there's no compromise coming out. Then as a woman, you submit us to the Lord.
Yes, yes, that's if some people have issues with submission, but sorry, that's what the Bible says. Well, that is another topic for another day.
That's
But
another
yes,
day,
I think yes, that's like my husband said that there are two captains cannot carry it, cannot cannot ride the ship.
cannot.
And marry well, so you will not marry man that say
No, that's
just marry well, and I assure you. You'll be fine. You'll be
Yeah.
fine, guys. I mean, this. I feel like there are more topics that we need to even stretch from this one
I
conversation,
see,
because
I
it's a very very big deal, and it's such a touchy conversation, because then people
Yeah.
don't open up about it. People don't even come out talk about it a lot, but it's very important. And I just hope, I'm sure this video has helped you. Like it must have answered one question, or at least open your eyes to to something, and help you navigate that phase better. And I'll put her Instagram and just on that. Please go and follow her. She has started this new series I love on Instagram. Like taking like wives from the Bible, and it really is beautiful. So you can even learn a lot from marriage, right? Because I mean, that's the cover we're talking about. Marriage, aside from parenting, just you and your husband. And like I said, feel free to, we'll bring money. Counseling is not for free. But yes, please feel free to reach out to her, and remember to subscribe, like this video, share this video, go and watch other videos.
Yes,
and
please do.
yes.
You're doing such an amazing girl.
Thank you. And yes, hopefully we have more and more amazing people on this channel that can help us navigate, I mean, motherhood and life in general. So see you guys at the next video. Bye.